Hey, I'm Manuel from Zeal Ardor, and you're watching Chaoszine. Perkele!
Okay, so hello everyone. Chaoszine is today here at Copenhell Festival, and I have Manuel from the band Zeal Ardor as guest. How are you, man? How's it going?
Pretty good, yeah. Got to watch some bands I like, got to drink a couple of beers. Happy times.
What band did you actually watch?
Harriet, Employed to Serve, Touche Amore. Those are the ones I cared for, yeah.
Okay, so overall, how's the summer been so far for you and the band?
Not too active because we're in the process of recording new stuff. It's not like last year we did like 80 festival shows. This year is like 15, so it's very relaxed.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's nice, I guess, also.
Extremely nice, extremely nice. Yeah.
And you also went up north and played first time in Finland. You played at North of Hell Festival.
That was the second time. We also played Illosaari Festival.
Ah, I forgot that one. Yeah, but that was like a few years back.
Yeah. It's been a while.
But being in Oulu, which is like very up north of Finland, what kind of experience it was?
It was great. Also, Illosaari was really up north, and we got to see the midnight sun. So that's just incredible. I would love to go up to Lapland just to check that out every summer, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually strange that you mentioned it, because it's always for the bands, they're always like, the sun doesn't go down at all. I'm like, no, it doesn't go down.
Yeah. Check it out in winter. Oh my god, it never comes up. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the opposite side, like you said. So obviously you released the Zeal Ardor album last year, and it has gotten like very good reviews everywhere. So have you been pleased with the album?
No, of course. Yeah. It's you're never allowed to care too much about the reviews, but when they're not good, of course it stings. So we worked really hard. It's the first one we recorded in our own studio, so to have such great reviews is fucking fantastic. Yeah.
Does that give you like pressure when making the upcoming album, that you have sort of always been media's favorite, sort of, and you are in a sort of like small hype train going on?
Yeah, I mean, I could do it two ways. Either I focus on that and be super stressed out about it, or I do what I did until now, which has worked, which is not give a shit about it and just make music that I like. And that seems to work out, so...
So you've always been a sort of like a chameleon band. Like now you play today in Copenhell, which is like a rock/metal festival, but then you have also played in a jazz festival. So does it like vary what you play depending on where you play, or do you still try to play around the same kind of set?
That's a funny thing, we don't give a shit, we just play our shit.
Okay.
And if it's at a jazz festival, like, I'm sorry you booked us, but this is gonna be really angry.
So, but you don't like ever do any kind of like adjustments depending about the like crowd overall at the festival?
No, and I think that's also the same thing. Like, you booked us, we're gonna do us, and if you don't like it, or if a big part of the audience doesn't like it, that's not our mistake. We're gonna still do our program. But I think like after a couple of songs we're quite enticing, and people actually try to enjoy it at least.
Yeah, for sure. So your band is pretty hard to categorize, and it's always been like that. So do you feel that it also should be like that, that you aren't put into some certain kind of locker with your band?
It seems like someday some guy's gonna be like, this is blah blah blah, and then we're only gonna play metal festivals anymore. But until that moment happens, I think we can enjoy the amorphousness of it. Yeah, so it's actually a huge luxury not to be categorized, but one day it might happen. Who knows? Who cares?
But do you still always try to make music that it is like pushing the boundaries to all the directions, because it's very varied and you're getting influences from basically everywhere?
Well, yeah, but I also can't really do it differently. I think if you told me like, okay, just do like a speed metal album, I would like have 2 good songs and the rest would be other bullshit. Okay. I think I'm not too... I suck at being like consequent. Yeah. So I kind of made it that it's a quality and not a disadvantage of mine.
So when you start like making a new album, is there like always like one song that sort of like decides the direction where you are heading, or how does like the album compiling start for you?
I just like write a bunch of songs. I write like 60 songs, and then I figure which ones would fit together.
Okay.
And then I just kind of build it like that.
And then there's also like leftovers maybe for the next album, and then you're like already like again doing the same kind of like puzzling, or
I never use leftovers because I figure like, okay, this was this phase back then, and I think maybe I've learned a lot and I can write better songs.
okay.
So yeah, there's a huge backlog of shitty songs.
Okay, but you always basically start from the clean table when you start writing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you have had like the cycle of releasing album like every second year. So is there gonna be album next year out?
I'm not allowed to talk about that, but yeah.
Maybe.
But I'm not allowed to, yeah, but that implies enough, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you have started writing music for it. So what's in the what's in the situation with the new music? Do you have like a lot of stuff ready, or is it in the early phase, or?
It's in a very, very early phase. Such an early phase that it would be, I can't even say for sure that it'll come out next year. It's, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So time will tell what will happen with that. And I guess as you have had like very good success with the first 3 ones, you want to have all the time you need to make it as best as possible.
Exactly.
And not to sort of like rush it out just for having it out every 2 years.
Exactly. I don't think that the frequency is such a important factor.
Yeah, for sure. Before we wrap things up, I want to ask you a bit about the future. So overall, what does it look like at the moment?
Well, we're restructuring things with the band, that everyone in the live band is actually more involved in the creative process and in basically the winnings of this project. It's a more egalitarian approach. Yeah, can't really. It's a lot of things being decided right now,
Okay.
And it's an interesting process, but it also makes it hard to say what's going to happen. Ask me in 2 months and I'll be more precise.
Okay. Hey, thanks a lot for taking the time to do this interview with me, and all the best for the rest of the summer as well as for the future. Anything you want to say so closer to the fans?
Saatana perkele.
Vittu. That's a good way to end it.
Vittu.
Thanks.